You're Near the Wild with Mat Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska.
Hello, welcome to Near the Wild. I am John Norris here in Anchorage, Alaska.
I am Mat Becker sitting in a bus in Anchorage, Alaska.
I am Greg Chaille in Bozeman, Montana.
Woo, go Grizz.
What's that?
Wow, Bozeman.
What's Grizz? Is that a local?
I think that's the mascot of the college there.
Local reference?
The Montana State University Grizzlies.
All right, yes, this is a university town.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's where they invented the Bozeman knife.
The Bozeman knife? Or are you talking about the...
That was the Bowie, but still a knife.
Really? All right. Yeah. Well, we're geographically located in probably one of the best spots in Bozeman. There's a Walmart across the street, so Bingo can get all of her fresh fixins for her super shakes. There is a Mexican restaurant attached to the hotel, the Bozeman Inn, and we have parking lot access from our balcony, which is basically not a balcony, it's just a walkway. So smoking is allowed out in the walkway. It's perfect, and we got 2 days off.
Wow.
And so you're in Montana, which is basically like a mini Alaska.
Kind of, yeah.
It's mountainous. There's lots of beer.
It's different mountains than in the Anchorage Bowl there. The Anchorage Bowl is a little bit more vertical, where these just kind of sweep back and up. Probably as high, but not as drastic. It's beautiful, though. It's beautiful out here.
The Comb-Over Mountains.
The Comb-Over Mountains.
Nice.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah, no, Montana's beautiful. It really is. It's just, it's one of those places where I have a lot of friends up here from Montana, and they all come up here for jobs because there's no jobs in Montana.
Yeah, I think they're just to one side of the fracking, and there's probably too many people that own too much land that are already rich out here that they don't have to throw in with the oil companies, I would imagine.
I used to live with a guy named Sean Jensen from Great Falls, Montana, and he was, a Craigslist roommate. You just put a post on Craigslist and hope you don't get murdered.
Yeah.
And he was great. We slept with our eyes open for a couple of weeks, but then we got used to him, and he was a great guy.
Yeah, I mean, Montana is known for, what was that movie they made?
Brokeback Mountain?
No, the one with the fishing with Brad Pitt.
Oh, a river runs through it.
Right.
Was that Montana? I thought that was Idaho.
No, that was Montana.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, for the sake of this podcast, it's Montana because I'm not sitting in Idaho.
Go to Idaho next.
Yes. We drove through it to get here. We tried to stop somewhere. Our goal was we've been doing a wrap up on the tour on the last couple of podcasts. We finished our night we finished the last Gasp tour for Doug Stanhope in Seattle, and it was fucking insane. And we had Tracy, my girlfriend, along, and it was a great night. And we sold all the fucking merch. I went back to the hotel room to get more Bibles while Doug was on stage because we sold 12 Bibles before the show, like as they're streaming in, right? Sold 12. As soon as Doug gets on stage, I get an Uber, takes me back to the hotel, and I'm back to the gig in 9 minutes for $15, and we sold 12 more Bibles, plus a book of Buddha.
That's more Bibles than most Bible stores.
I think we're starting to push some paper, gentlemen.
That is amazing.
So we sold out of all the stuff.
How far was your hotel from the gig? Though it was so quick.
We were in downtown Seattle, and by the time he went on stage, it was getting close to 9:00. So it was pretty wide open streets on a Friday night.
Uber.
That was a great picture though, with the crowd behind you and everything.
Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law were there, and it was good to have someone who could actually take a picture and focus.
I saw a picture of your brother, and you were in the picture, and I guess I knew you were a twin, but at the same time, it kind of freaked me out a little bit, like somebody photoshopped your face onto another person.
It's a little startling, I'll say that.
You know what's weird is I'm a twin. I'm a fraternal twin, and we look nothing like me and my brother, but I never have thought Greg and his brother looked that much alike.
We're not fraternal. I mean, we're not identical. We are fraternal.
They're fraternal.
But
He
we
looked
look
a lot
enough alike that we just don't even fucking deal with the semantics of it. And interestingly enough, I'm older than him. He was a blue baby. And
What does that mean?
That doesn't mean he came out sad or wanting to sing the blues. The umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck when he came out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I believe it was mine, too.
That only happens 1 in 13 million times. That's true. But the thing is, they think that the other baby is trying to kill the other baby. So the fact that Greg and his brother are so close is amazing.
So it was a rough birth.
I didn't want him taking my shit to begin with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's only room in this placenta for one baby.
I'll say.
I think people don't understand that.
Wait a minute. That means I'm a big baby. Scratch that from the record.
When you're going to have kids, it's always good to space them out to the arm's length away, or at least an umbilical cord away.
Yeah.
Yeah, proper zoning would help that. But what the fuck? It was 1960s Southern California. There weren't zoning laws back then.
That's true. It's a free-for-all.
Build a fence as tall as you want.
So, are we going to talk about it? Should we just go right into it? Matt's predictions?
Yeah, I think we should just go right into it.
You're a prediction kaleidoscope. So far, you are 3 for 5, sir.
I know. I didn't want to ruin it. And I actually, what's weird is, and then this is after the fact, and I certainly you don't make your own accolades on these things. I had written down when we were talking about that in the note in my room, it said on the American-Germany game, I wrote 55 minutes, 1-0 final.
Really?
And I went back and listened to it to see if I said it, and I didn't say it. But that's what I wrote down. So it was 55 minutes, and they hit the 1 goal. And America still advances.
Yeah.
Which they didn't brag that part.
Well, I mean, there were more chances for them to advance than to be knocked out. So statistically, and we'll get more into statistics in a little bit when we get down to your next two. But
I was kind of afraid that Portugal and Ghana, one of the teams would just lay down and I thought Ghana would lay down and let Portugal just score 8 goals to fuck USA.
Yeah.
I was kind of afraid of that.
I bet we had relief aid checks in the mail going, well, I'm telling you, this doesn't end well.
Didn't they refuse to go on the pitch until they all got paid for that last game?
They flew in $3 million to give them their bonuses because they wouldn't get on a plane. Then mysteriously, the $3 million disappeared, much like 20 girls in Africa, and the whole world's upset.
Well, I think the reason no one lies down like you were supposing there, John, is because what goes down on these FIFA games, the team lives with, the country lives with, and even lying down just to
for 4 years they live with it.
Well, not only that, some of these guys, they were just talking to this one guy who did something in South Africa 4 years ago, and the announcer made a mention. I don't think that guy's bought a meal since. These guys, they score 1 goal, and it's such a huge thing that they go back as heroes. I can't imagine a team lying down just to make the U.S. look bad. We usually do that pretty good on our own.
Who was the one that did the first goal in 36 years?
Oh, was it wasn't that someone in?
Who was that?
Fuck, well, I don't know.
That's how bad soccer is. Once it's over, I forget all the stats.
Well, there's so many good stats. Like if
but
a
that
team,
was amazing.
It's not like
they
baseball.
Scored in 34 years. It was 34 years.
Well, it's like baseball. There's the minutia of now. This is the 3rd time in the recorded history that he's actually been over a 650 batting out, and it's like what all these little fucking tiny things. This team hadn't scored a FIFA goal in 36 years. That's a fucking solid stat.
I know, but then the other one, like Costa Rica, when they were talking about, they go, well, this is as far as they've ever gone. And they'd gone to the final 16 before, but they lost 8-0 to Portugal or something. It was like a drumming. Yeah. But I go, how can this be farther if they haven't played the game yet? You know what I mean? Because they haven't lost 8-0
travel-wise. Because
they said,
distance.
No, they were going into it with more points than they had previously. And I go, there's the point thing again. The underbelly of soccer.
Well, just to rehash, because the last podcast had Matt made some predictions from his
wildly off-colored predictions.
Yes, the kaleidoscope predictor. Costa Rica would advance, which they did. Germany would beat U.S. in the group stage, which they did. And then right after I told Stanhope about your predictions, we had had a Mexican meal. And then 2 hours later, he came out and he gave me a whole new definition of the word volcano.
Your third prediction was volcano.
That was 3 for 5. So,
and on top of Stanhope's shit, not literally, but figuratively, I at my work, I was directing live television, Alaska Edition, a great show. It's not great, don't watch it.
It is good.
But we had some guests from the Alaska Volcano Observatory.
Oh, wow, that's weird.
How could you have known that?
Volcano keeps coming up over and over.
And who knew there was a volcano observatory? Had you ever heard of that before?
It's a real thing.
But had you ever heard of that before they announced them in the room or whatever?
I've known of them for a little while. I don't know what they do. It sounds cool. Like when you think of a volcano observatory, you think of like a bunch of scientists like flying helicopters over volcanoes. But
guys in like silver suits, like dipping something into the magma or the lava.
Sure, but I think it's really just like 2 or 3 people and an intern sitting around like Windows 98 computers.
So my theory on volcanoes is that when the volcanoes go off, they release magma, which actually makes extra space in all the platelets that hold the planet together. So once that lava comes out, you actually leave more room for sliding on the plates, which makes more dramatic earthquakes, which makes more devastation and limits the planet to only what it can handle.
And we'll die.
Well, I mean, some of us will. Some of us will live.
You're really you're walking that tightrope between prognosticator and scientist, Becker.
Oh no, and I don't claim to be part of the hobby hut at all. But if you want a birth control, you better not build it from the hobby hut.
Well, right now we're still at the theory stage. We haven't tested this yet.
Well, we've got 2 more. And one is the long game, which is Becker predicted that by June 25th, 2019, Roe v. Wade would be overturned.
Yeah. And do you see what happened today?
No.
The Supreme Court finally ruled on the hobby hut not wanting to offer their employees through Obamacare birth control. And they ruled with a private business now can religiously object to offering you that. So if I choose not to offer you, say, a pay raise because it's against my simple Christian values, then I can now deny it on religious grounds as a private company.
Basically, we're
Armageddon. This is Armageddon. Remember when I told you we need to get rid of the Supreme Court? We need a way to get rid of the Supreme Court.
We're walking that way then towards Roe v. Wade being overturned is what you're saying.
I'm saying we just took a roller coaster.
On religious grounds.
On religious grounds. Well, of course. And really quickly, the other one was Republicans winning back the House. You said House originally, and then you changed
but it was Senate.
It was the Senate
because they already have the House. So,
and I don't like homework. I like doing as little as possible for this podcast, as evidenced. But I had to actually look this up. I went to NewYorkTimes.com. They have a Senate model that basically it fluctuates just about every day. They're giving the predictions on who's going to win the Senate. The Democrats, are they going to keep it, or will it go to the Republicans? And right now, currently it's set at 57% chance that the Republicans are going to get it. And
Eric Cantor's not going to help.
And it looks like 9 states, which are looking very competitive, where they really don't know where it's going to go. Alaska is locked at 49-51. So that might be
Mark Begich under fire.
They think that's the way it's going to swing. 49-51. Alaska, they think it's 49% to 51% of which way it's going to swing on that one. So it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Begich, it doesn't look like he's going to.
All out-of-state money competing against Begich, so we'll see how that turns out.
And interestingly enough, in the case of a tie, just for our civics students out there,
then the vice president decides.
Vice President Joe Biden will decide.
Yeah, who said he's probably not going to run for president.
Yeah, that's a good job.
But he should, because that would be awesome, because he's a fun guy.
No, I
define fun.
He wears his like big aviator glasses. He seems like a kind of guy who would crack a beer with you.
Oh,
Wear some
definitely.
horseshoes.
Definitely.
He's like a working man's Nixon. Go ahead, Google that.
So-
I don't know anything. I don't know a lot about politics, but I feel like there's a lot of money spent on these campaigns for no reason.
Huge dollars. And
It's crazy.
The Democrats are actually. I was reading. I don't know anything about either, John. I got 2 pages of words in front of me that made me think I can actually talk about it. But it looks like there's no limit to what you can spend now.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, those PACs, another way of just funneling fucking millions of dollars.
Again, get rid of the Supreme Court. They ruled.
Yeah.
They put that in play, and it's ridiculous.
All right, we have to get off of this. Too much politics.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Hey, how about
Fuck politics? It doesn't affect your lives until it does.
here's your segue. Did you guys see the video of the man on the back of a moving car going down the highway?
No.
They don't know. Now, I don't know why no one knows who this guy was. He was on the back of a 4-door car, holding on like Starsky and Hutch style, or like going down the highway, and he's banging on the window. And there's a woman driving, and there's a baby seat in the back, and some lady, basically grabbed the phone and started videotaping, and that's what they're showing on the news feeds. I think it hit last night, but you'll see it if you just watch one cycle on CNN. But it's fucking crazy. It's like they're filming a movie, right?
Well, I think it's pretty clear what's going on.
What's that?
He's a cyborg sent from the future trying to kill her.
We've seen this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
That's a story old as time.
Are
Yeah.
you sure this isn't part of Uber? It sounds like it's Uber.
It's the new share a ride with Uber.
He's sharing a cab with a baby, and he has to ride outside.
Because they don't know each other. It's it's a gentleman thing to do.
Was she upset because he wasn't sharing the price of the cab?
I don't know what it was, but you can see him. He's trying to smash the back window, and the video doesn't show this, but eventually, who wouldn't follow that fucking thing all the way, right?
Yeah.
But he smashes the window. From the news report, he smashes the window and then crawls inside the car. Now,
Well, that's safer.
but how come no one just kept following the car? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you got other things to do.
Well, I got to pick up the dry
Listen,
cleaning.
who
The kids are at
knows?
soccer.
Who knows how many exits they're going to go by? You have to you have to go where you got to go.
Hey, man, there's not another pilot or a TA station for a while here. If I don't get off here, I'm not going to get my frozen margarita. I don't know. That was stupid. But you know what I'm saying? There were numerous cars around, and the one I would be afraid to be in would be the car directly following. Because if that guy slips, there's not a lot to grab on back there. If it's not like the guy had like a spoiler or something on the back that he could
What kind of car was it?
I would imagine comparable to like a Sentra or something, like newer, but like a 4-door. There's really nothing. It wasn't like a luggage truck. Yeah, but the guy following, that's the lane I wouldn't want to be in. He's going to be under your wheels. But
no, those are things. What probably happened, Greg, what we're not realizing in this day and age is everyone was texting on their phone. They didn't even notice.
That's true. Head down.
They're like, what? I was there?
Why aren't there like 10 video feeds of this thing? How did the mother of 3, she's driving too, and then she's videotaping. Not bad camera work, John. I'd like to see what you think of that. But she obviously didn't have a stick shift. Come on.
Was she recording with the phone vertically or horizontally?
Vertically.
Oh, fuck. Come on, CNN. Demand better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen. In a couple of days, maybe a week, it's going to come out that was a hoax, and he's actually like an amateur stuntman trying to get a job on like Transformers 5.
I think you just hit it on the head. This is all a setup.
So you think this is a tie-in?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yep.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, the late night wars are getting crazy.
Ecuadorian president was shot. Jimmy Kimmel.
Yep. It used to be easy to do a hoax. You would just get on Twitter and make a fake account for like Rotel Salsa.
Yeah.
But now you have to set somebody on fire, or you have to crawl on the back of a car down the highway.
True. I didn't even think of it that way, John. I'm naive sometimes.
I've been hanging out with Becker too much. Everything's a scam.
It's all a scam. I think some of these trees actually in the back are actually fake.
Now you
They do.
You
They're
got
just slipping in plastic trees.
you guys are back on the bus. This is the first time.
We're both on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
It's too nice not to be on the bus, I think.
so you guys got some good weather up there.
It's been nice. It rained a little bit last week. It rained a lot last week, but clear skies all weekend for the most part.
It has become like a barbecue in Alaska now is a rave. You get all the stuff, and then you just call people if it turns nice. But it could turn crap. So you're on your own. I mean, there's no predicting the weather right now.
But you got the bus, so that's a good backup. You guys piled in there last week.
Bus is goddamn brilliant, dude.
Yeah.
I've got people selling leather wallets in the back. I mean, this place is paying for itself.
So you guys got some new gear. Hopefully you can get some of the local talent or some of the other guys that we bring up for comedy at Coots in there now, and have a comfortable, safe bus ride down Ha Ha Lane.
That's exactly our plan is. Yeah, we're gonna start getting the people that we've been trolling for the last few months, and like I have a commercial fisherman who's done it for a zillion years. So we'll
great.
Get him, and yeah, he can tell you the horror stories of the actual when they're not filming what happens on a fishing boat.
This is what I want to find out,
Out
Becker.
flesh.
Wait, say that again, John.
Just hooks ripping out flesh, people losing legs.
The story that I want to hear, because I was at the bar a couple times when some of the guys from Deadliest Catch came in, but when people down here in the lower 48, when Deadliest Catch comes on, they're riveted, and I want to know if I think the people down here think that those are the only 5 boats looking for crab. So I want to find out how representative of the fleet are those 5 boats that they have on the show. Because I've heard stories otherwise where like they found like the shittiest boats in the fleet to put on the show. Because if you've got a huge... Go ahead.
They found the only boats that weren't making money, and so they got the owners of the boats to agree to let a camera crew hang out. Any boat that's making enough money isn't gonna like let a bunch of camera guys on their boat.
All right, so that's kind of goes with what I figured was happening and kind of the stories I was hearing. But that would be a good question to ask a commercial guy, because I'm sure if he's not making any money off Deadliest Catch, if there's not that huge payday from Deep Cable coming in, I'm sure the other fishermen are talking shit.
Oh yeah, you probably are the most hated. If you work on one of those Deadliest Catch boats, you aren't getting served first at the bar.
Oh yes. That's what we want, Becker.
Yeah, that's exactly. And the thing is we got the other. I mean, once you become a showpiece for your profession, I mean, everybody knows the dirt on you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a friend who went out on one of the Deadliest Catch things. I think I already said, but they arrested 3 of them. Who was it? The police. They boarded the boat while they're doing a fundraiser. You go out on the boat with the guys from Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
The police boarded the boat, searched the guys, and 3 of the fishermen. One guy had a warrant, was why they were there. They nailed the other 2 for cocaine possession and took them away in handcuffs. And the people that were on the tourist part of it were going, what is going? They searched them too. They go, okay. They put them on the boat and took them away. And she goes, the lady who ran the boat goes, it happens.
Yeah, it was a total immersion ride along.
Could you imagine though being in part of a weird celebrity drug bust?
Yeah, they take 2 of the fishermen off, and now you got to fucking put on the wets and
but
get
they're
out there.
searching you.
Somebody's got to pull up this net.
They're searching you too. I'm like going, I don't have anything to do with this.
Yeah, I mean that's probably where I would have planted it.
Yeah.
On the ride-alongs.
Hold this for me.
Yeah.
Stick this in your crotch.
No, hey man, you'll be part of the crew. Just put on this hat. Don't worry, it feels a little heavy. That's padding on top. That's not weed.
And Lance Mackey, another Alaskan story. Lance Mackey's going to run the Iditarod next year.
Speaking of drugs, yeah.
The most winning Iditarod dog sledder ever.
Yeah, he's making a comeback. He did not run the Iditarod last year. And I think it was health reasons maybe he didn't run it last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's back. I've met him in person, and he is we need to get him on the show.
Yeah, no, I think we will. I met him too in the birdhouse.
He's a super nice guy. He is very small. He's a very skinny dude, and he doesn't look like someone who could survive out in the wilderness for long. But he's just wiry and
he's that southern wiry.
Yeah,
he's from up here, but he's that southern wiry where you go, you want to wrestle, and you go, no, say no.
He's an Alaskan redneck for sure.
I think the small in stature is probably an advantage on the rails of a sled dog or on a dog sled.
I don't think I've known too many dog sledders, fat guys that won.
Yeah, I mean, back in the old days of Klondike Mike or whatever, when they were doing it to just get from point A to point B. But this is big business now, right?
Yeah, it's all about speed. It's
they've cut the time down. Amazing.
So just for anyone who might not know what the Iditarod race is, it starts in downtown Anchorage. Is it on 4th Avenue?
Well, they have a kind of like a ceremonial start. It's kind of more like a parade through downtown Anchorage, and then it starts out in
like Willow,
but like
little bit outside of Wasilla.
The mush, they'll block off the street. There'll be snow. If there's not snow on the ground, they'll truck it in, and they basically they will punch a card to start their race. But then as soon as they get out of a shot for the camera shot, then they punch their card to stop, and then they truck everything out to like Eagle River or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've always heard that. I didn't know if that was totally true. I've only gone down there once, one of the first years I went up to Alaska, because I don't like crowds.
I don't know if there's any card punching or like if it doesn't count towards like the time. I think because they have like people bid or donate money or something to like ride in the sled. So there's like an old lady riding in somebody's sled.
Yeah, you can actually pay to sit in the sled. And one of these years I'm going to do it.
So basically it's a PR thing off 4th Avenue until you get out of the range of the cameras, and then they thank you very much for your donation to Burned Kids.
Yeah.
And then they move on.
They do it during Fur Rendezvous downtown, which is like a big festival to celebrate our fur trappers.
Winter Carnival, John.
Yeah. The biggest outdoor winter carnival in the world, I might add.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You just made that up.
No, it's a fact.
I guess if you're like a animal lover, it's maybe not the scene for you to come celebrate our fur traders and then watch a bunch of dogs pull people around.
You know the bullshit part? These dogs are bred for racing sled. They're sled dogs. That's what they are. And what kills me is when animal rights people go, "Oh, you're abusing them." No, taking a rat terrier and putting him in a condominium for fucking 8 hours a day is actually abusing the dog.
Especially if there's no rats.
No, you pretty much missed the point.
And we've come a long way since Call of the Wild, where they were actually shanghaiing family pets to run sleds out in the wilderness. Before the race, but they were doing that much like you would Shanghai a rummy in a bar, and he would wake up out 2 days out at sea. What's he going to do? He's got to do it. Once the rat terrier is on the lead line, he's in. He's now you're
a sled dog.
He shows a lot of leadership potential in that rat terrier. You know.
Well, he's got to work his way up.
One year there was a chiropractor from Florida who came up with a standard poodles. He had an entire team of standard poodles. And they lasted about a day, but he set the record for the only guy from Florida ever raised standard poodles.
And then they made a rule.
Well, at this point, we're just brainstorming show ideas on the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think, on the lead up to the Iditarod, we should just see how many mushers we can get on. We need to get the mushing mortician.
No, and here's the deal.
Wait a minute. Whoa, hold on. Mushing mortician?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy, there's I think it's Evergreen Mortuary downtown. The owner of that is a musher, and he's the mushing mortician. And I think he's raced for a while now. Last year he broke his leg out on the trail.
Good thing he wasn't a horse.
Does he do it because he seriously is into dog sledding, or is he doing it just because what Becker just said?
I don't know. I don't know how much. I mean, it's quite the advertising stunt for a mortuary.
Yeah, but also it could be like ambulance chasing. Throw him in the back.
We do pets.
But yeah, no. So they did around this year. We're gonna go after all the mushers. We're gonna get them on there. That's why we're getting the stuff to do the podcast. But there's a lot of different things we were looking into, and I think it's going to all come to tuition.
Yeah, we're gonna tackle real Alaskan stories. That's our goal.
Yep. John and I sat down. We talked about it, and we both had a bunch of phone calls in between while we were talking about it. So we forgot a lot of details, but I think that's where we're headed. So It should be very interesting.
That sounds like a plan.
So listeners, right now you are on the ground floor of something amazing.
This one, don't listen to this one.
Yeah.
This is shit. I don't even know why. This is ridiculous.
Unless you're an advertiser, and then let me tell you, everybody's listening to this, and we are going to get you a lot of business.
Mm-hmm. Salmon stock's coming up. If you're going to come to Alaska, come up for salmon stock.
So do a lead in on that.
Salmon stock. Oh. Each year, the Alaska has a festival. It's called Salmon Stock. And the festival's coming up, and it's, the last week in July.
Last week in July?
Yep. And they bring up national acts from all over the country. Some of the best acts there are.
Where's Salmon Stock? Down in Kenai?
It's down in Nilchik.
Nilchik.
Just a little bit north of Anchor Point, correct?
That is correct. And Greg Chaille.
Which is just a little bit west of...
West.
Greg Chaille has actually performed at Salmon Stock.
Oh my God, that was the first year. What they did was, and they do it right. The guy from the Whipsaws, he books all the bands. So there's this integrity in picking the music that the first year they got all these local bands in, and they got anyone that this guy knew, and I put a band together with, I got into JJ Tranquilla's band, and Becker, I didn't remember the name of the band. What was it?
It was called something forward. Stuck in Reverse.
Stuck in Reverse.
That's how my brain works.
Something forward.
Yeah. So I learned some songs. We had some really good players out there, and our plan was we're going to show up when they open the gate on Friday. And this is the first one they had. I think they're coming up on their 4th year. This is the first one they had. It was a little clunky, like there's a big learning curve that first year. JJ Tranquilla, my girlfriend Tracy, and I showed up at about 6:00 on Friday. Our band wasn't scheduled to play until 6 p.m. Sunday on what I refer to as the puppet show stage. So we were really just we were the end of it all. I mean, they're already cleaning up and
the people
stuff.
who didn't have to work on Monday.
Exactly. And we had a true contingent from Chilkoot Charlie's come out because Sunday they don't work. So Saturday after the shift at 4 a.m., they all pile in a vehicle and come on down, and we had a blast.
Road trip.
But we had full meals catered by Awesome Dave's catering out there. Really good caterer. I mean, I was surprised at how well they took care of us. But we ate for 3 whole days. We spent the night we car camped. It was a fucking blast. And my takeaway from this is if you can go to the first or second year that someone's going to do something, you're gonna get away with a lot of shit, and you're gonna have a lot of fun. A lot, much more than you can now. Not dissing on the festival. I still think it's a great deal out there, but just from the first year to the second year, they made a lot of changes
because of all the fun that was had.
Yeah. No, we had a blast. I think did I play the second year too?
No, they wouldn't let you.
Oh, that's right, because that integrity thing. They wanted.
But we still knew all the loopholes. So
yeah, it was still fun.
Food lines.
Doesn't hurt that most of the security staff has either worked at Coots or are regular customers at Coots, so that helps, and it's fun. And you're going this year. I think Tracy's going to be up for that.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%. We're going. You going, John?
Yeah, I've never been. I should go.
This is the last year. I might want to throw in at the end.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Why is it last year? What's happening?
The venue is they get such a great turnout. The venue was too small, but then they're going to move it to Kenai. But then also it was in order to try to prevent Pebble Mine from building, is what it was for. Was and then two of the big backers of Pebble Mine have pulled out, so it put Pebble Mine in a kind of a weird spot where they think maybe building a mine next to the biggest freshwater fishing area is a bad idea.
Oh, says who? Says
well,
who?
It says that basically the salmon stock thing was paid for by people donating to Pebble Mine and everything.
Salmon awareness was basically the genesis of salmon stock, right? And that's a huge success story, and a credit to. I don't know who gets the most credit for pulling the plug on that thing, if that's what they're going to do, because I'm pretty sure some people are still fighting tooth and nail. Well, but that's the long view of what is good for Alaska.
It was the Davy and Goliath of things. They were throwing billions into fighting them, and they ended up beating them.
Well, they definitely haven't pulled the plug on it, and they won't as long as there's still a ton of money to be made there.
Well, this idea you sell these mining leases to people, and then they go, okay, I'm going to use it. And then everybody goes, well, wait. I go, why did you ever sell land? They want to, you don't really want to cut the top off King Mountain for coal. They do. Go to King Mountain, look at it. And I'll take a picture. I'll put it on there. And you can go, yeah, we should cut the top off that.
Yeah.
For coal, the sold to North
Korea.
Korea.
A little bit off the top, it'd look fine.
Now, I'm not a geologist, but I don't those veins of coal usually run down and deep and not like a flat top?
Cut the top off, you can just drill right into the coal.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I don't know how any of this stuff works.
So, but I've never been, and I think I'm not really a live music person. I don't know why. When I go to concerts, it's really never a really good time for me. So it's not.
Well, you're gonna go with us. We're gonna figure it out.
That is the key, Becker. Because even last year that we went, did we go last year?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. We went and we spent some time at Salmon Stock, but then we also had time at Bart's Cabin, which was fantastic. And that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, especially if it's the last year, go for it.
Exactly. So it'll be fun, and they're bringing in great acts, and it's fantastic. And last year they had 5,000 people on Sunday night. And the thing is we talked to our friends that are all security guards there, and he goes, yeah. I go, you having any problems? And he goes, yeah, we had one girl who wouldn't get off a picnic table. 5,000 people? That's when you
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Kind of fun to hang out with people who smoke weed.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
They got good beer, John, because they bring in craft beer. Was it
Midnight Sun?
It might have been Midnight Sun. Anyway, they do pay attention to that. I mean, you can't get a Miller Lite or a Coors Light there, so forget that. I think they had PBR as one choice for the hipsters, but then they also had some craft beers. So there's that, and it's good people watching.
Yeah, it's a blast, hands down.
Excellent. So
Salmon Stock.
I'll put a link in the show notes.
And we have a contest coming up at Coots. We got Collective Soul coming up.
Papa Roach.
Papa Roach
is the first one. That's that'll be out. That'll be about right after this podcast gets up.
It's going to be a blast. We got the Beer Fest coming up.
Yeah, I mean this is the time to get out there and
everything's happening.
Enjoy some shit out in the open. Well, we could end on that, guys.
I got nothing else.
Yeah. John.
I just used all the conversation I had stored up for a week.
Yeah. How? Wait a minute. Did you go to the open mic last night?
No, I didn't.
How's that?
I ate a s'more and I felt sick, and then I went home. I think I'm 6 months away from turning 30, and now I eat too much sugar and I feel sick.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't eat sugar.
Are you sure that was
when you get older?
Are you sure that was the order? Are you sure you weren't feeling sick and you figured you'd just like go all in and eat a s'more and see if that helped?
Medicine's not working.
That's a 22-year-old's fix. But I don't think that's a 29 and a half.
So no, I did not make. I made it to the open mic on Wednesday night though, and it was a really good night. There's a great turnout. It was raining. There was 35, 40 people there.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everything's been going good. We were having a good summer. I mean, like I said, the rain is good if you work indoors, and the sunshiny days are nice when you have days off.
When you got a bus.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Thanks for listening. We're in a bus somewhere in Anchorage, Alaska.
I'm John Norris, and that's Matt Becker.
And I'm Greg Chaille in Bozeman, Montana.
Bozeman, go Buckeyes.
Or Grizzlies.
Big Grizz. Woo!
You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Matt Becker's backyard bus. Engineered by me, Greg Chaille.
Welcome to Guam.